Just give it a couple more seconds. If you're joining the stream, go ahead and put something in the chat. Let me know you're here. I keep screwing this up, so I'm trying to get the Go Live thing ready to go with OBS, and I keep sort of making a mess out of it. But if you're here, let me know. We're going to go through some stocks. We're going to talk about what I traded today. We're going to kind of do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Who is out there? And can you see my chart and the chat? So if you're here, if you can see my chart and you can see the chat window, tell me yes, chart and chat. Steve, can you see both the chart and the chat? If you say yes, we will begin. Hey, how you going? Brown's Bookkeeping and Consulting Services. Welcome. Steve Drapak. Craig Tumulty. Welcome. Whoever's here, throw something in the chat. Yes, it's good. Perfect. Avaldis Bus. Awesome. Let's begin. Welcome back. So first of all, I just want to tell everybody that I am very thankful that everyone is staying with the channel. I know there's been some confusion as far as what I've been up to. The past month I've taken off because I just didn't know what direction the channel was going to go in, and so I just want to take a little bit of time and take a step back and figure out what I want the channel to be. And it took me some time, and I actually have a really good friend I spoke with yesterday who sort of shed some light on this for me and said, you know, you're curious to know what value you're providing, and he said, you're providing value even if you don't realize that you are. When I'm doing this, I just don't want to regurgitate information that you guys already have. So I want it to be unique. I want it to be me. I don't want to just be a clone of something else that's already out there. So I was having a hard time seeing the value in my own content. And just by the number of people that are showing up in the chat, I'm super excited to be back. Yes, RSA 108 IFY NG dropped without me. Yes. I've still been trading, so I've still been at it. I've just been trying to figure out where to take the channel. But I've decided that I think a good way to go would just be to go live and go live at random times, not really a scheduled, just kind of whenever I want, and have you guys jump in, and I want to review what's happening in the market today as I see it, and I want to show you some of my trades, and I want to talk about, you know, maybe a stock that I'm watching, or maybe a news article, just like sort of letting it happen as it goes. I want you guys to ask questions. I want to take, you know, tickers from you and break things down, but I'm super excited to be back, and I apologize for the long hiatus. I just needed a little time to figure out what I was doing and where I wanted the channel to go. So I'm so happy that so many people are in the chat. This is really exciting. RSA 108 IFY. Yeah, just taking a good break. But let's jump in. Let's look at the charts. So I've got the SPY up on the daily chart right now, on the daily time frame. And I've just drawn out a few lines in the past here, just sort of trend lines I've been watching. But looks like today, you know, we've got about a half hour left in the market, and we're actually having a slight red day after a gap up. So we're trading at 335.25 right now. And I want to go ahead and just show you a couple trades, a couple stocks I've been trading, and I want to tell you why I've liked them, and then I'm going to show you guys one trade that, or one stock that I am stalking right now, stalking a stock. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be back. Thank you guys. You guys are so kind in the chat. That's awesome. So the first one I want to talk about is ticker symbol LK, Luckin Coffee. And first of all, in the chat, I want you guys to tell me if you've been trading LK. I'd be curious to know if anyone got in on this, because I'm going to talk about why I liked it, how I traded it, and where maybe I think it might be going from here. So right now, it's trading, it's pinned right at 38.01. It kind of finished as a doji day. It got as high as 39.19. And you can see I've got some support resistance levels drawn. And the reason why I liked Luckin Coffee starting off, now this is a Chinese coffee stock that is supposed to be competing with Starbucks over in China. Now they aren't outside of China right now, but they're growing really, really big, really fast. And the thing I liked about them when I saw this was the implied volatility on Luckin Coffee a couple weeks ago was 114%, which is huge. And if you've watched some of my previous videos, you've seen me talk about implied volatility being like a big balloon, full. It's a big full balloon, and it makes premium prices really high. And then as it contracts and deflates, premium prices get smaller. So the idea is sell a put for premium while the balloon is big, wait till the balloon shrinks, and then buy back that put to close your position for a cheaper price. So say you get $2 on the front end, it contracts to $1, and you buy it back for $1, it means you keep $1. So you keep the meat of the move. So I originally liked LK. It looks like Steve, you did trade Luckin when the negative report came out, but chickened out before it dropped more. So Steve, this is funny. On that day, Steve's referring to this day right here, and this was 131, the last day of January. So when that drop hit, that was when the Muddy Waters report came out about how Luckin Coffee underreported or overreported their earnings numbers, which was a really bad manipulation of things that was never validated. So that dropped right down to this trend line. And the funny thing is, Steve, I went ahead and jumped in and I bought shares right there, and I rode it all the way back up and then dumped them. Had a little intraday play. Scalped Luckin that day. But what I've been doing on Luckin is selling naked puts. I've been selling the 40 naked put, the 35 naked put, the 30 naked put, and the 25 naked put. And I did these at different times, and I did it at different strike levels so that I could be a little diversified. So I decided to play it that way, and also with different expiration dates. You can diversify your option strategies by taking different strikes and spreading it out over different expiration dates instead of taking all your contracts and putting it on one strike on one expiration date. There's just more risk inherently with that. So I've been playing with Luckin for a while, and the reason I like it is because I'm going to show you on the trade tab right here. Thank you, Steve. It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was laughing about that. So the nice thing is, when I'm looking to trade a stock and looking to put on an options position, I like to collect about 1% of the stock price. So $38, I'd be okay with 38 cents. But in Luckin Coffee's case, the volatility was so high on this thing that I collected $4.10 when I initially entered this thing. So that's beyond, that's like 10 times what I normally want to create, what I want to collect in premium. So super excited to have that. And so I sold my original put for $4.10 on a $35, $40 stock, which is incredible. So my idea is that if I do get put shares, if I do have to buy from someone else and I get put the shares, I'll wheel it over into a covered call scenario just because the premium's so juicy. Look at these premiums. I mean, if I go 45 days out, you can see, I mean, just juicy. And then you flip over here and start selling covered calls. It's also very nice. So I know it's a Chinese stock. I know it's been a little manipulated with that report, but it's a lower price stock. And I've just been trying to keep things small, and spread out, trying to keep things diversified within the few puts that I have. So I'm looking to take those off soon. Today was really nice. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer and see what happens on Luckin. But right now, I really like Luckin Coffee. I like this big pullback that it's had. And the coronavirus was timed with it at the same time. So Steve, when that report came out and it dropped, that was like right around when the coronavirus was first sort of coming out and being announced to the world. So it's kind of the perfect storm of bad stuff for Luckin. So we got the drop, we got the pop back up. I lucked out and got a scalp. And now I've been selling some naked puts and a covered call. So I do have 100 shares long stock that I have a covered call on, and I'm going to kind of watch that as we go forward. But that is Luckin. Any questions on Luckin? I'm going to move on to another one here. Yeah, it did have more volatility, Steve. You're so right. Yeah, because I think I sold one of my puts at 114%. And then I think I sold one at 100 and another one in the lower 90s. and then it bumped back up above 100 again. So this has just been a really big volatility play. So sometimes when you get a lot of volatility, you'll get a higher price stock that is putting out juicy premium, but in something like Luckin, it's a low price stock, large cap stock, a company that's doing a lot of stuff, and yeah, the premiums are just super juicy, so I went for it. So I want to move on here. I want to talk about, let's look at Roku. Who's trading Roku in the chat right now? Tell me who's trading Roku. Who's got a position on? And how's it going? Want to hear how Roku is going. Steve, are you trading Roku? So RSI 108 iffy, 1080 iffy. I wish I could say that right. At what implied volatility am I selling options? So I tend to adopt the tasty trade method, but I've modified it for myself. I don't really like to be involved in selling option premium unless the stock has a 50% or greater implied volatility rank. Not implied volatility, but the implied volatility rank, which is the rank against itself. You're not in Roku, Steve? Okay. You got burned by it before and it's on your naughty list. Yeah, Roku's been a big mover, and a funny story again for you, Steve, is if I zoom in here, so see this drop? This was when Apple Plus came out, and so it dropped, and I got involved here. I sold a put here, and then right away the Disney Plus news came out, and then it did this on me. And so I was rolling down and out, and then bottomed and moved back up, and luckily I got an expiration later on. But yeah, it can move a lot really quickly. So this has been concerning me because it's been doing nothing. It's just coiling and moving around. And then they got the good news today about how Disney Plus is going to, just aid Roku, because Roku is sort of an agnostic aggregator of streaming services. So they're saying that it's going to benefit, so it popped today. Yeah, perfect timing, right, Steve? It was fantastic timing. So with Roku right now, I do have a put. I had a 110 naked put on this one, and I can show that to you on the trade tab. I rolled it to 115. So you can see right here, I'm 20 delta. I had the 110 put on originally. And what I like to do, you can see it's at 115 now. And the reason why I did that was because as it moves up, sometimes if I'm far enough out of the money, I'll roll up for a really nice credit, and I don't necessarily have to change my expiration date. So it's nice if you sell a put and you get a move to the upside and you're actually in a good position, you're not in danger of your strike being breached. As you get closer to expiration date, you can actually roll it up and sort of tuck it up underneath your strike, as long as you're doing well on it and the stock's climbing. And you can collect credits as you're moving closer to the strike without extending your expiration. So it's a nice way to sort of clean up some nice credit, some nice premium right before something expires for you. So I've been kind of messing with that a little bit. Anyone else in Roku? Brown's Bookkeeping, you in Roku? David Renfro. Oh, David, I'm sorry about the UGAS stuff. Oh man, we could get into that. The UGAS thing, man. We'll talk about that in a bit. Anyway, so Roku, I've been waiting for it to pop. It did. We got a nice move. I think with the news combined today, I'm hoping that we're going to get a little more continuation to the upside. But right now, I'm just sitting tight. Got my put. I'll get ready to close it pretty soon. Going to give it a little more time. UGAS is evil, Steve. All right, so let's do it. Let's look at UGAS. Here it comes. Call all your friends. Put out all the notifications that we're doing a UGAS breakdown. So what looks weird about this chart right here? Anyone answer that question? What is it about this chart that doesn't seem right? The decay, right? The absolute disgusting nature of this. And the fact that UGAS is only for intraday trading. It's not for holding anything more than a day. This thing has done nothing. So when it split, and I put out my I quit video, it split and it dropped from the 90s It's now down at 30. It's at 38.28 as its low now. It's like dumped over half. It's just not a good product for holding more than 1 day. So day traded only. Let's not spend any more time on it because I just saw any thoughts about selling Disney puts. So I love this. This is what we want to do. I'm putting up Disney on the old screen here, and let's take a look at Disney. So RSA 108 iffy. I'm looking at this, and they had their earnings. They beat earnings. They got the pop. They got the pullback. So it's actually not a bad position right now. It's not like crazy overextended at this point. It's actually kind of had a little bit of a pullback. So it's in kind of a nice position. And I also like to look at just other support points. And sometimes I'll do something like this. Let me put in a trend line here. And these support levels are just, they help me a little bit. They're not, they're not an end-all be-all, but I like to just put them on there and see and then kind of zoom in. So yeah, you can kind of see, we've got a little bit of a support level. We've got the 200 simple moving average. That's this green line. So let's look at, let's take a look at the premium. Let's set up a trade right now. So let's go out 45 days. That's kind of my go-to. And let's see what we've got here for premium. So premium, so I said, I like to collect, 1%. So you can get that right around, so you can get probably a $1.30, maybe you get a $1.34 at a 22 delta. So that might not be a bad setup. Volatility though, let's come down here and take a look. So the current volatility is 22, and that percentage is 25%. So RSA 108 IFY, I would not consider this for an options trade right now because the IV rank, which is this number here, is too low for me. I'd like that to be 50% and above. Because the problem is, say you sell premium on this and you wait a few weeks. What if volatility expands on you? What if it goes from 25 to 50? Now it's more expensive to close. So you're actually losing money because volatility grew. It's better to have big volatility and let it shrink than to have small volatility and let it expand. So I try to avoid low volatility rank stocks. I would wait till Disney expands. If you see Disney above 50% here, then it's a whole different scenario, and then we can talk more about it. Cool. IV rank is not that much. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we talked about Disney, talked about Roku. We got into my Luckin Coffee. And now let's go ahead. And I want to show you guys the stock that I've been tracking for a while. It's Carvana, okay? They're basically the Zillow of the car world. They have, I don't know if you've seen them, they have vehicle vending machines. You can literally swipe a credit card and type in a number and a car will come out. And you can sell your cars to them, you can buy cars for them. And the reason I'm interested in them is because I've had an experience with Carvana. I had a pickup truck that I sold to Carvana, and they make it super easy. They're disrupting this space. I know the word disrupt is overused, but if you've ever bought a car at a car dealership, you know how painful that is. Carvana says, here's what we'll give you. If you like it, take it. If you don't, then don't. And that's it. But if you say, yes, I like the price you're offering, you just click accept and it's done. And they'll come pick it up. It's the easiest car buying and selling experience I've ever had. And they're growing. And here's the reason why I like them. And I had an article in Motley Fool yesterday. Go to Motley Fool and search Carvana. It'll be one of the first 2 articles. But check that out because it says Carvana was buying vehicles at wholesale, and the wholesalers have fees attached to them to buy those cars. That was the beginning for Carvana. That's how they initially were getting their inventory built. Now they're buying more and more of their cars from private parties that doesn't have that wholesaler fee attached to it. So they're actually saving themselves more money per unit, per vehicle, and it's affecting their bottom line. So in combination with that, they're growing into different areas. They keep expanding into new areas, and their inventory is growing, and they're putting in those vending machines in more and more cities. So things are looking really good for Carvana right now. And I was watching it right here. I missed this. I saw it after it popped, so I didn't want to sell a put there. So I thought I'd wait a while, and today I got the drop. So I want to show you what I did. Carvana dropped. I chose the 31-day March 13th expiration, and I sold the 30 Delta put. Right now it's changed. I sold the 78 put, $78 naked put, and it was a 30 Delta at the time. The cars, as far as defects that they're buying, so when Carvana takes the cars, they do a full VIN check on them, and then they take photos from you that you submit, and they check the odometer, and then when they come to get the car, they double check everything, make sure that the VIN checks out, make sure that the odometer is accurate, so they know the history of the vehicle, and then they take them to their refurbishment centers, and they do full inspections on them. And the nice thing is that once they're inspected and certified and all good, they also offer you the ability to purchase a warranty. So you could buy a car from Carvana and purchase like a 24-month or a 48-month warranty on the vehicle. So they do their homework before they take the car from you. They validate everything that you say and check its history. And then if it looks good, they take it in. They have refurbishment centers if there's damage. If there's damage to the car, the price they give you will reflect the fact that it has damage. So then they take it and in-house, they'll fix it and clean it up and do what they need to do. And then put it in a vending machine or put it in one of their inventory lots. So it's a really smooth process. But I sold the 78 put for $400, $4 per share on an $85 stock. And my hope is that if I get challenged and I get put the shares, I'm going to turn this one into a wheel and move to the call side and immediately start selling some covered calls on Carvana. I think Carvana could be something I'd be interested in holding long term, just like Zillow, because I think what they're doing is they're taking home buying and car buying and they're making it less, they're taking pain away. People don't like pain, and they're removing pain. So they're doing amazing work, and if the margins work, then these companies are going to be incredible. Let's see. So when they receive the car from you, the deal is done. They can't come back at you, correct? No, they can't. Nope. Once you accept, so when I sold my truck to them, I accepted their offer. I met up with the guy. He had the big truck that you can load the car on, and he did an inspection, a walk around. He double checked everything he needed to check based on the paperwork I had submitted, or the online submission I had. And once that all checked out and the odometer was accurate, he wrote a check on the spot, gave me a check. We signed the title over, and the nice thing is they do all that stuff. So I had a title from another state. They dealt with sending that in, getting everything changed over. I didn't have to do anything. It was so easy, and I walked away with a check that I deposited into my bank account that same day. So no problems at all. Super smooth. All right, so that's why I like Carvana. I sold the put, and now I'm going to wait and see what happens. I sold the put when this was pushed down around 84.50, 84.75, and now it's up about $1. So we'll see what happens on that one. But that's my Carvana trade I put on. So Carvana, Roku, Luckin, watching all those, and another one I'm watching or that I'm in on is MDB. And if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you may have seen me trading MongoDB. They basically provide database structure, database software, and I have a couple covered calls on this as well, and it's just been a monster since the end of last year. So watching that one as well. Any questions from you guys or anything that you're seeing that has high volatility? Because I'd love to share some information here. It's Steve and RSA. Who else is in here? David, what else are you trading? Evaldus, what are you trading? Anybody else trading anything interesting, or anyone have any questions about volatility or why I'm liking a certain name? And I also want to get your feedback, guys. What do you think about this go live scenario. Would this work? I was planning on doing some go lives in the morning, like before the market opens, and then staying live into the open and even a little bit after that, just so we can talk and we can share ideas and we can watch stocks and see what happens. Speaking of crazy stocks, I'm just going to put Tesla up real quick. Sure, someone's trading Tesla in here, right? Oh, NIO. They're the electric car maker, right, Steve? NIO. Ooh, yeah. That's really cheap. What is the premium? Let's go 40. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's go to Steve. What are you looking to trade on NIO? What calls or puts, and are you just buying long stock and waiting for it to rip the face off the planet? The premiums, yeah, for a I mean, you can sell some. I mean, yeah, it's a $3 stock. Yeah, I'll be curious I'll have to keep an eye and watch that. This one was up a lot a while back, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, 13 bucks. That's interesting. Anybody else trading NIO? You have $4 calls sold. You sold $4 calls, naked calls. So you got a bearish play going? Or did you buy calls on it? You can buy a call for 14, but that's interesting. Yeah, if this thing were ever looking to rip to the upside, I bought. Oh, you have covered calls. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. That's awesome, Steve. Keep me posted on how that goes. That's really interesting. Do you, Steve, on your covered call? Okay, at $4. Okay, and it's at $3.90. So you're almost in the money. You sold covered calls. That's perfect. $4. Oh, it moves with Tesla. So Tesla has a big move. NIO moves. Interesting. Let's see. Type in NIO here. And you said, let's see, what did you say? What date did you go? Feb 21? Yeah, you're right on that line, aren't you, Steve? You're almost in the money there. But that's great. Yeah, that is exciting. All right, so NIO, got our Carvanas. Anybody playing Zillow? Because Zillow's one that I'm playing that I find interesting. For the reason that it's similar to Carvana, but if you look at this thing, it's got a big monster gap. And if you've watched some of my other videos, I talk about how these gaps tend to be like vacuums. So if Carvana does, or if Zillow does break out and hold in this gap, it could vacuum right up to 55. So I've had some covered calls in Zillow as well. That I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. So we got 30 seconds till the market close. Let's see what happens here. Anything rallying that we're aware of? I like to come over, check out, sometimes I'll just grab like the S&P 500 and take a little look here. Boy, Under Armour. Under Armour just seems to get beat up all the time. Microsoft's down. Let's look at Under Armour real quick. Oh my gosh, they missed. That's bad. All right, well, hopefully no one's trading Under Armour unless you're selling calls. Naked calls. Yeah, earnings can be shaky. Yeah, I think Zillow could be a shining star. I think Zillow could really do some work. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But all right, okay. mRNA, Invax, and INO. I'll have to check those out. Let me look at mRNA real quick. Thank you, Steve. Oh, yeah. How's volatility in some of these? Okay, we got a 60% volatility. Oh, there's no premium in that one. That's interesting. Yeah, volatility is way up. Okay, so I have to keep an eye on that as well. Yeah, so much to watch. Exciting, but going back to the SPY real quick just to kind of see where we officially finished up. So we're just grinding. You know, we just keep grinding. We had a little bit of a sell-off, coronavirus stuff, but then kind of grinding higher. 7%, yep. Boy, Steve, that it could be an interesting play. So I don't know where the SPY goes from here. We're just in the grinding pattern. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens here, but we've just been grinding and grinding and grinding. So I'm gonna go ahead and plan on tomorrow morning going live, and hopefully right before the market opens. But I want to get as many people involved in this, and it's just unscripted and it's whatever. So I want the channel to just be, I want to give you guys value through seeing what I'm up to, showing you trades that I'm putting on and taking off, and then just sharing names of stocks and looking them up together so that we can all have a feel for what's moving. And I just like to know what you guys are trading, because you know, I learn when I hear from you guys. You know, you guys are trading stuff that I'm like, wow, I've never heard of that. Let me see, and I end up finding a great trade. So if we can share information, that makes things awesome. Let me see what else. Let me check my scanner one more time. See if anything is hitting over here that is interesting. Boy, that Under Armour though is just bad. So it does look like Microsoft took a little bit of a hit today. I'm not really looking to get in this high, but it did pull back today. But that just seems like that needed to probably happen. I didn't see any news on Microsoft, but yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that. But anyway, thank you guys so much, and thank you gals so much for joining the chat, for joining this live stream. Anything you want to see in the channel that'll provide value to you guys, let me know. If you know other people who are following the channel, let them know we're going to go live tomorrow. Anybody in the chat room, grab a friend, have them join us tomorrow if they're traders, because I'd love to get more people involved in these live streams. And I'm officially back, so don't worry about me ghosting on everyone again. I've had my time off to think about the channel. I've got some direction ideas in my head, and my good friend that helped me out yesterday really got me thinking about the channel and seeing the value in it. So let's check some more messages here. That's cool, Steve. I'm glad you're new. If you haven't heard me preach about this before, tastytrade.com. That is an amazing, go to their Learn tab and start watching videos. They put out so much free content, and they do such a nice job in terms of backing everything with math. They research everything. They put on free events. They're really, really great. It's basically, Tasty Trade was started by the guy who built Thinkorswim, who built this platform. He sold it to TD Ameritrade, and now he started another platform called Tastyworks. And yes, they are great. Good, Steve, so you already know about them. Cool. All right, let's wrap it up from here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Grab a friend, grab 10 friends, bring a bunch of people to the table. Have them join the stream tomorrow morning. It'll be just sometime before the market opens. Turn on your bell notifications. That's the thing I wanted to not forget to say. If you're subscribed, turn on the bell notifications so that the minute I go live in the morning, you'll get that notification so you can hop on, because I don't know exactly when it'll be. It should be soon. But hey, Sagut Holdsworth. Yeah, you're very, very welcome. Are you going to join us tomorrow morning? I hope everyone's available. Steve, are you available to join us in the morning? RSI 108, iffy, scary to sell puts. Tell me why. What's scary about selling puts? I'm curious to hear. And we're going to get into this more. I'm going to talk more about this, because when you sell a put, you can get a stock at a lower price. Okay. All right, Steve. Well, we'll catch up with you some other time. all these live streams will be on the channel, so you can watch them later if you like. But anyway, thank you to each and every one of you for checking this out. I'm excited to be back. This was fun. Thank you guys. Oh, I see what you're saying. All-time highs. Yes, RSI. Yep. RSA 108. All-time highs. Exactly. All right, everybody. We will catch you in the morning. Have a great night.